Good afternoon, everybody. I am Attorney Danyl Patterson, candidate for the 190th State Rep seat. I am West Philly's own. So I'm calling out my friends from Spruce Hill and Cedar Park, Haddington, Dunlap, Mill Creek, Winfield Heights, Belmont, West Powelton, East Park Side, Carroll Park, Five Points, Allegheny West, and West Lehigh Avenue. We're so 190, and we're joining you today to bring you a little word on the youth. You know, we love to see the men out in the community doing work, and who better to help our children than the men who have given them guidance. So often we say that the men are absent in our community, and I am here to tell you that they are alive and well, and that they have been doing great things with the youth in our community, trying to teach them how to grow up in the best way possible, offering exciting opportunities and leading by example. And one of those we have with us today is Rickey Duncan of NoMo. Hey, Rickey.
Hey, how you doing today, Danielle? Thanks for having me on.
Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited because just having you here today, and we're going to talk about the fabulous things that your various organizations do, just dispels the myth that the men are absent in our community. So I really just want to focus on all of those good works. And what excites me the most is that you put together a fabulous team of mostly men to keep our kids on the right path, offer them different opportunities, educate them in various ways, and to help them to grow and learn the way we want them to, be really successful members of our community. So thank you for that.
No, thank you for having us. Thank you for taking recognition that we're doing the work. And I gotta say, we got a fabulous team of women that's also with us. So
Yes,
I can't take away from them. We got some fabulous women, man, too.
so you know that women are always the cornerstone of our community,
Yes,
always. So, and I'm one, but I will tell you, just even watching my dad, who was really, really active in the community with the young men, didn't matter what I did, he could tell them one thing and it would just change a perspective. So, especially when you're talking about a lot of the folks in our community who, their fathers may not be in the home, just to know that that guidance is still there. There's somewhat of a disconnect. And you guys are really doing lots of great things with making sure that the men are so active in the community and in the homes. So one of the things, that we have the biggest issue with in our communities is gun violence.
yes.
And, is gun violence. And people say, well, how are we going to stop the gun violence? And we're going to stop the gun violence because we're giving our children access to better things, access to a better way, and access to real support. So before we even get into all of that, Rickey, I just want to know. So, tell us something about yourself. Like, we always assume because, you're very well known in our community, but there are folks who don't know. And I'm trying to introduce you to those folks.
Well, my name again, I'm Rickey Duncan, aka Mr. NoMo. I come from South Philadelphia. I'm not a member of the 190. I'm like an adopted child, being though our original office is located at 5510 Woodland Avenue.
Mhm.
And I'm associated with Southwest New Stop. Dr. Tom Reeves, one of my mentors and like a father to me. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. I grew up in South Philly. Grew up under my grandmother and grandfather. Just lost the last of them the other day. My grandfather, God bless the dead, down to 7th Street around 7th and Snyder. I grew up playing sports. Just did everything that the average teenager did back then. It wasn't a whole lot of shooting and killing like it is today. It was more so a lot of fighting and gang war. But at the end of the day, I had a structured household. I made a decision in life that that what I was given wasn't enough, and I went out and tried to get it. How everybody was living, and basically environmental circumstances, whereas though I seemed to gravitate towards the streets, what took me through the juvenile system, in and out of prison. Long story short, I wound up going upstate as a juvenile and serving 6 years, came back home, served another significant sentence. Then my last sentence was 10 years. Not to glorify none of that because it's nothing to deserve glorification. As you see, when I said I went back, nothing changed. I was out there in the streets. I came home with the same mindset. So I decided to use a sense of cognitive thinking and decide to grow up, mature, give, I took so much and I decided I wanted to give back. I lost so much during my incarceration. I lost my grandmother who raised me. I left my one and only sister to lupus, my grandmother cancer, 2 years apart. One was in 2013, one was in 2011, which was my grandmother. The significant part about losing my sister was the fact that I lost her, and I was her kidney donor. She was wound up going on to get on dialysis, had kidney failure through her lupus disease, and it hurt because I knew that my consequences of my action was the fact that she didn't have a kidney donor. And at that point in time in my life, I decided I'm never coming back to jail. I never want no one to be counting on me, and I'll be the reason that I'm not saying God has his end date, he has his beginning date, so I don't take the blame for that. But I knew the fact that I had to make a change in my life, so I never put myself in this position again. Because I lost my sister and my grandmother, but I had children, and they depended upon me. I didn't want to continue to watch my kids grow up through pictures. We didn't have Instagram, the day-to-day Facebook stuff in prison, so I had to wait on people to send me opportunities to watch my kids grow. So, and at the end of the day, I was like, that was going to come to an end. And then I was getting a newspaper. I'm going to go back to when I was in New York. I was incarcerated in New York, and I was getting the Philadelphia Daily News. And every day I was watching the homicide rate go skyrocket higher and higher and higher. The gun violence was at an all-time high. And I had to self-check myself dang, if I was home, would I be contributing to that? If I would have never got this mindset now that I have today. And I was like, but I might have, if I was home, it was a great chance I might have contributed to that. But now, what can I contribute going home with the different mindset that I had? And I decided that I was going to go home and try to stop the problem of being part of the problem. And I created a program inside my cell called Balling Up Scholastic and Sports.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You fast. Something I got to write it down. Wait a minute. Something's collect. What was the first part?
Balling Up Scholastic and Sports.
Okay.
That was the program using my upbringing. I tried to use it I looked at my moral development through the stages of life that I took, and I tried to plug in the pieces of the missing link of what if I would have did this, or what if I would have did that, would I still found myself sitting inside of a jail cell? So Balled Up Scholastic Sport was a program designed that you had to participate in the sport, whether male or female, but you had to make sure that your scholastics, your books was together. So you had to do an hour one and an hour the other. And whether you was a girl or boy, you even just the education and learning the sport, maybe being an owner, a broadcaster, or something of the likes. At least you knew the business. Even as a lawyer, you got to know the business to represent someone. So I thought that me knowing and having a hands-on knowledge, the lived experience of being an athlete all my life, that I can use that and I can speak the language of the people and have to help them understand. But I knew that it took, no matter what you do on the court, you got to be book smart off the court, because your street knowledge only going to take you but so far. You can have that lived experience and be a great mentor, but you got to also, like I said, speak the language of the people and be able to go from the courtroom to the boardroom back to the basketball court. So you got to be able to do both in order to seek funding and opportunities. But okay, fast forward.
I'm just going to jump in right here. Okay. Because there are quite a few programs. We just, we talked about.
Balling Up Scholastic Sports actually turned over to become New Option, More Opportunity, NoMo, which is what is known today. And if I just
say it again, Ricky, okay, you gotta tell me again. NoMo. The folks gotta know what that stands for, because a lot of people don't.
More opportunities. And the NoMo is a slang that says no more guns, no more violence, no more rape, no more homicides, no more robberies, no more burglaries. And it also goes back to an African proverb. So at the end of the day, NoMo was doormat for some years. My mentor, Dr. Tom Reed, he had this nonprofit that he outgrew because of his age and due to the fact of trying to be that face for the people to relate to. He got older and it was doormat. So he heard my vision on balling up Scholastic and Sports and said, well, listen, I have already existing 501c3. Why don't you take that concept, if you're willing to sacrifice that name and still do the same thing that you wanted to do in Balling Up Scholastic Sports, do it under NoMo. He gifted it to me. So that's how Balling Up Scholastic and Sports became up under NoMo, New Options Marketing.
And this is a perfect example of what I'm trying to do in the community, is that understand that together we do better. Just think if you had not understood that the moving into NoMo afforded more options and opportunities to reach folks than balling up Scholastic Sports was, and you wouldn't have been able to grow it, at the same level, at the same rate. And this is what we're really trying to do, to make sure that we're not recreating the wheel and doing things over and over. We're trying to do them the best way. We're trying to be and when I say we, I'm talking about you. I'm talking about, what Charlotte Greer Brown is doing. We're talking about what Yanni Williams is doing with AOK. Is that, we're trying to be the best at those things instead of everybody trying to do a little bit. It's kind of like everybody's a jack of all trades and a master of none. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find the best and help them be better than the best,
Because what happens is, like, we don't want to reinvent the wheel. Like, let the car ride the way it's riding. Just fit the rims on that fits your car. Put the rims on that fits your car, but keep the wheels rolling. You never want to reinvent the wheel, man. I just want to put some rims on it, shine it up a little bit, and drive it the way I see me fit that need to be driven. So, man, and that's what I did. You can't get stuck on. A lot of people want their name in the lights. A lot of people want their name on the front line of these things. And I don't care what name on it. And listen, if you could put a wig on a pig, as long as everybody gonna get fed, that's all I care about. You know what I mean? You can call Gloria, you can call Missy. You know what I mean? As long as everybody get fed. Like, at the end of the day, it was more so about serving the community, going out there, boots on the ground, 10 toes down. It was never about like me becoming Mr. NoMo, me becoming Rickey Duncan. I had that opportunity and I had those chances when I was in the streets, when I was Ricky Rolex. But everyone knows Ricky Rolex, and I can bury that now. You know what I mean? Rest in peace, Ricky Rolex. At the end of the day, some people still call me Ricky Rolex, but at the end of the day, I had those chances in light, and it didn't get me what I wanted. At the end of the day, we need, of course, yes, we definitely need more collaboration, cooperation amongst it. Because when we get together, we do better. When we get together, we do better. We gotta grow amongst each other, as a unit. And we can put this hand up 1,000 times. This is gonna supersede this any day. You know what I mean?
I tell you, Ricky, this is like my third conversation with you, and I get all the best taglines from you. You like Jesse Jackson. So when we get together, we do better. We get together. So when you hear it, I stole it. But that's the first form of
Stop doing things dirty and trying to call it clean. Steal that one. You know what I mean? Steal that one, because that's what's going on around here. Like, everybody, we got these great programs on paper. We have these great chat and shoes, these powwows. Everybody leave feeling good, but someone's in there just committing a robbery. They take all this good information, they put in their pocket, they run out, and somebody dingle that carrot over their head and say we offering a certain amount of money, and then everybody go left. We talked about that briefly in that Elite 30. About it's the elephant in the room. You got to talk about it. Like, you literally, it's bad that you got to come amongst community partners they have the same goal, the same vision, and the same mission, and you got to sign letters of confidentiality. You got to sign commitment letters, because you don't want nobody running out the back door with your idea when we could just kick the door in and we all run through it.
Well, so I'll tell you what I see, and I talk about this a lot, is that especially our people, and is that, instead of seeing a whole pie in front of us and we can all have some of the pie, because for so long we've been, relegated to a piece of the pie, right? So if we only got one piece of the pie and it's 12 of us, we fighting for death for that one piece. Mm-hmm. Not realizing that, if that's only 1/8 of the pie, it's still 7/8 out there.
What? Say it again.
It says still 7/8 out there, but we still fighting for that one sliver. And then but this is what happens, and this is what I see all the time, is that folks from other communities, they see the whole pie and will come and get a fork and eat right out the middle.
And then take food off your plate and eat that too. Then they come to your plate and they eat that too, because they feel like you didn't want it, you didn't deserve it, you didn't respect it. And at the end of the day, that's stepping over a dollar to pick up a penny.
Yep. And that's what we do. So we have to grow together to understand that there is a whole pie. And that that's what we really have to do. And so, like I said, so that's a part of my commitment to partnering. That's how we find the whole pie. So, this is a part, just as being a leader is also understanding the available resources in your community now. It's identifying who's doing the work successfully now.
Yeah.
It's partnering with those people to find out what has been successful so that we can grow it now. So,
Exactly.
one of those things, we got to be ready for this post-COVID world. One of those things that you talked about last night. It's a whole new world out here. It's going to be a whole new world for all of us. So, to an extent, we got a time that we can build this thing however we want it. We're starting right now today, but we got to
Everybody,
start right now today. It's not after the election. It's not after January when folks get installed. It's not after, November when we beat Trump. It's none of those. We still need to be working tomorrow, next week, the day after the election, the day before the election, getting ready for the next election. We still need to be doing these things.
and people don't realize, if you never got everybody a lot of empathy is in effect now, because I guarantee you this, a lot of people going to respect the brothers coming home now, from reentry. A lot of people going to respect the brothers that's in prison right now, because you know why they're going to respect it, because guess what, the whole world is in reentry right now. When it's time to go back out there, the world as you know it is no longer going to be the same, and you're going to have to crawl before you walk, because you're going to have to adjust. Post COVID-19 is going to be a huge adjustment, a huge adjustment. You're going to have to be able to go out there now. You ain't going to look at the guy coming home from jail as bad, because you're going to be scrambling for a job like he is. Because guess what? Like it or not, hate it or love it, at the end of the day, they're going to be cutting them jobs that people got laid off from. Everybody's not getting hired back because they realize we can do it without you. I don't need an intake worker no more. We already knew technology was going to take over to a certain point. I'm going to be honest with you. I have board meetings with basketball shorts on and button-up shirts, because guess what? I can do that now through Zoom. I couldn't walk in the office like that, but I'm able to have a board meeting at any time of the day now, because it's more convenient, because now we're learning this technology. We're learning the fact that we can go ahead and you can do it from your phone. You can do it while you're in the car. We didn't even take a look at it back then. We just said, okay, let me look at my schedule. I'm not available. But you didn't look about that time frame you had from getting from one meeting to the next, that you didn't think that I could fit a meeting in between that, because I got Zoom, I got FaceTime Live, I got Google Meets, I got Microsoft Meet. I can do all this stuff now. Now people have said, oh, that's what that little app was. So now we're able to move different and effectively. So why not adjust? It's all about adjustment. So now, are you ready to adjust? What are you doing to put yourself in a position to be a part of the new world, the new post-COVID-19 world? My kids every day are working virtually because I keep them active. I didn't let my program go dormant. Every day they're virtually. On Monday they're doing career development. On Tuesday, the program we invited you out at last night, they're having a teen summit, a youth summit, because we got people older than teens in there. On Wednesday they're doing financial literacy. On Thursday, leadership conference. On Saturday they're connecting with a whole new culture environmental control board, where they're dealing with teens in Connecticut, showing how they're dealing with life, how they're moving gradually in their world compared to what we're doing here in Philadelphia. So they're growing and networking. They're constantly at work, because what's going to happen is, if you don't get smarter every day, you are becoming dumber, like it or not, because people are growing. They're getting smarter.
Well, I'm going to jump in right here because specifically I want to talk to you about one of the things that you guys did. And I think that it didn't get enough attention in the city. And it's not, and you guys didn't do it for attention. You did it because it's something that needed to be done. And I think that this defines you for our community just as much as anything. And you just kind of touched on it. And when you just said that, you're making sure that your children are savvy and that they're virtually doing all of these things, well, you made it so that not just your kids could virtually do some things. You guys worked really, really hard to make sure that every child in the school system could virtually do things. And I'd really like you to talk to the people and tell them about, exactly what you did, because it really went below the radar to many of us.
Yeah, well, what happened was the school district decided overtly to go virtual, and I'm pretty sure that, there's no knock on the school district, but they wasn't able to put all the pieces to the puzzle as fast as they needed to make sure that the children in the school district filled up and didn't get left back. So they went remotely, virtually, and they did remote education. So and when you do that, we had to think about the things that's needed to do that. So they supplied the Chromebook without the Wi-Fi. So and they assuming everyone has Wi-Fi. Everyone has, but it's not consuming that everybody may have a hotspot or they got a cell phone, because most kids in the city of Philadelphia at the at-risk community, they were doing their homework off of their phone. So they didn't need Wi-Fi. So what happened is they think every parent, it was only 10 hours and this, that, and the third, but right now doing economic hardship, that 10 hours could be like 10,000 hours depending on how many mouths to feed inside of the house. So what we decided was we're going to sponsor Wi-Fi for any kid in the city of Philadelphia that needed Wi-Fi, so they can be able to be a part of the advancement of technology as it's taken over during COVID-19. So we sponsored Wi-Fi, and we kept that on the low because we didn't want too many people, too many requests that we was unable to fill. We also gave out Chromebooks too, because unbeknown to everyone inside of Philadelphia, that was just for public schools. What happened with the charter schools is they were giving out one Chromebook per household, and we had household that had about 5 to 10 kids in there. Sometimes, 3 kids and 4 kids, depending on how much work you got. Each
And
kid needed.
different ages. Yeah.
So, we was able to supply some kids with Chromebooks, and we supplied Wi-Fi for those that wasn't able to do it. And we actually reached out to negotiate with the company to let them know, like they were saying they had back bills, and people didn't look at that either. Well, it's only 10 hours. It's only 10 hours if you don't owe them no money. If you don't own Comcast, then that's a whole nother ball game. But if you owe money to get that essential internet, you wasn't able to do it. So they came up with something where they allowed it to give them 2 free months of internet from Comcast, and they wiped that old bill out the way, and we paid for additional 2 months for them to take them throughout the summer.
Well, I mean, and this is the thing. It's that kind of pivot that we're looking for in our community. That ability to be innovative, thoughtful, and a quick response. A lot of what happened with COVID-19 is that all the responses were so slow. We still got a situation with the barbers and beauticians. Their shops are completely closed and PUA is still overloaded. And we haven't made any kind of special compensation for them. The realtors just got their ability to go back to selling property today in limited space. And not having the realtors able to function meant that people who were in housing crisis couldn't move. So, we had that problem. We had kids who were stuck, who were moving out of like university housing that couldn't go anywhere else because they had to be out of university housing, but they couldn't let anywhere else. So, I mean, we had a lot of folks, that because we were not able to pivot and move and respond to crisis, because we weren't able to identify our community partners. Just that's what it was. I mean, it was so many times I saw that, we couldn't get things done on a grand level. But you know what? They was getting it done on Facebook. Look, I got some folks coming home who are being released, post-COVID. And this is exactly what I said. We were advocating for this. Okay, so we're going to release folks. We need to. Where are they going to go? Well, we're just going to release them. Okay, where are they going? And then what happened? They sent 25 folks home with nowhere to go.
Let me get into that. One of the guys is part of our MORMAC program. Like you said, we got a few programs. MORMAC. This is what MORMAC decided to come up with. COVID-19, again, reactive. We just trying to be reactive. So our post-19 COVID pickup, we had to pick up a guy recently on Thursday from Indiana, Pennsylvania, at Pine Grove Correctional Facility. How do you pick up a guy during COVID-19? How does this work? What happened was we had to literally, because you can't put him on a Greyhound. You put him on a Greyhound, you can send him home in a death sentence. He can catch COVID from here to there. It's going to be about 5 different stops through 2 different buses. How many people been on that bus? How much did they wipe it down? So we decided we rented a party bus, a small party bus. We went up there. That was a way for everyone on the bus that's going to go pick him up can practice social distance. We went out and purchased him a cell phone because he did 22 years. So at the end of the day, we got him an iPhone because first thing you want to do, you do 22 years, you want to see all your family you haven't seen in years that wasn't able to travel 8 hours to see you, didn't have the finances of the travel to get to see you. So, okay, we're going to teach you on this bus in this 5-hour ride how to use this Apple cell phone where you can FaceTime all your family and friends and they can see you live and direct right then and there. And you don't have to risk getting COVID-19 out there. Upon picking him up, as soon as he got out of there, they had a flimsy mask that, I mean, it probably couldn't protect you from grease in the air, let alone the COVID-19. And he said he had to wear it for 30 days inside the prison. So we gave him an N95 soon he walked out the door. We hand sanitized him. He had his COVID-19 test that he recently took inside the prison that made everybody safe on the bus. And during the transition, we took him home. During it, we began to introduce him to technology during the 5-hour ride home. He had an accelerated course immediately. We took him to his family, and we surprised Mom. Mom didn't know she was coming home. So we took him there. We knocked on Mom's door. Well, Mom actually had to pull up. She surprised us. She wasn't there. But she got me. So we waited for her. She came back, and to see the look on his mother's face, not seeing her baby, because no matter how old you get, y'all
That's
women
your
all out there,
baby.
your sons, that's your babies. And the daughters don't like it, but the sons is your baby. You know what I mean? Your daughters is your like, that's like your daughter. And they normally get more privileges as we young, but we're the at-risk kids, the guys that's out there in these streets, and you want to make sure we're safe. So when she's
The
seeing
highlight
her,
was that she shared your live from beginning to end, and thank you. That family
yeah,
was so happy. Everyone in the live was was in tears.
it's the live right now has about 16,000 views on it. When everybody got to see this man, come from out the prison, shed tears when he seen us out there to give him, that right there, having some real models in front of him. Yes, I said real models, not role models. Having those real models because everybody came from where he was coming from that picked him up. And everyone was out here doing the work successfully. So seeing these group of guys coming up that you hear about like jailhouse legends, because everybody in jail is talking about us. Like, yeah, I can't believe Rolex out there doing it. They see you on the news, they hear you on the radio, they see us sitting on, they're hearing about, oh, he's dealing with Danyl Patterson and the state reps of this and the councilman. So they look up to us and they feel like, believe it or not, that we the end all be all, but it's so much more ceiling to go to. But when they see us and it was the respect of us coming to get him, he cried like, damn, they really came and got me. 22 years, he cried because he probably thought he'd never make it out of jail because COVID-19 is in there killing people rapidly. So he made it out of there safe to men that's there for you, that's like literally taking you shopping. The next day, after he was out, after he finally made it home and he got time to spend with his family and he went home safely to stay to get rid of. We had one of our Dominico formal wear. That's one of our tailors. That's one of our partners in our program. When we talk about partnership, right? He went, opened his doors, came in, and said, "Listen, 2 at a time. Everybody sanitize down, put your mask on," and he suited him up to be ready for the world. Then we took him shopping, got him his clothes, got him his essential needs, his deodorants, his toothpaste, all his essential needs. And then again, phase 2 of technology. He came in, got him set up with a Gmail account, got him set up with, social media come last because social media is a gift and a curse. Everybody not ready to go right in social media. Listen, like, that's a gift and a curse. So we got to gradually get you to social media.
He came home.
The first thing you need is a LinkedIn account. You need
a
resume.
I just had to laugh. I just had to laugh because
how to social media because you like the wrong picture. Like, trouble in the home.
No, it wasn't that. I think he wasn't even home 5 days before he got flagged by Facebook.
Yeah, like bad enough he got 16,000 viewers, and you coming home, there's someone in the road, but you got a woman at home, and she like, listen, all these comments, it's 7,000. It was I think it was 895 comments. So it's like, whoa, you ain't ready for that yet. Like, that's too much. I know coming from
that's
too much temptation. You know what I mean?
Overload.
Yeah, that's all.
I'm gonna tell you, he came home and he was dying laughing because he didn't know about Instagram models and stuff like that, and he didn't know that they don't really like you.
Yeah, they don't listen. Oh man, it's a lot. So we don't want him to even take that step yet. So we gradually, remotely, we took him to the bank, got his bank account set up, had a financial advisor come and had Bolo come talk to him that just received he received that big overturnment when he got when they had to overturn his case for his false accused. People donated money towards him. They reached out. They wanted to see him. So, and recently on Monday, we went out there and gave away 300 boxes of produce to the people of West Philadelphia, Southwest Philadelphia. So he was out there. He walked old ladies home, carried their boxes for them. If you pulled up, he made sure your box got in there. We want people to start seeing these new returning citizens in a different light. And the only way they're going to stay in that beacon of light if the men is out there making sure that they because anybody can pick you up, but where they taking you to? Anybody come to the prison and pick you up, but where are they taking you to? The ride don't stop when you get to Philadelphia. is you got to, like you said, you got to rewrite the wheel. You got to shine this car up. You got to make sure that this guy has got it in the right direction. Because on a job application now, they say master's degree. They might the requirement might be a bachelor's. Then they got this little small print that if you don't read it good enough, it said lived experience.
Yes.
Lived experience. Now, every men that came and got him had shared lived experience. They knew what it's like to be on the inside, and we know what it's like to be on the outside. You're not even allowed to be a mentor in our program if you haven't been successful 2 years consecutively. You can be a part of the program. You can be in a group, the support groups, but you can't mentor nobody because you still need a mentee. I still have a mentor, to this day.
I still have a mentor, honey. So,
So
you're supposed to all have one.
Yeah, but, exactly.
So just, not just talking about what it's like when citizens are returning and how you help them do that, which is, again, in the 190th, we actually have the largest percentage of returning citizens who are living in our district. So we need to make sure that we understand economic opportunities for them, that we need to be able to re-socialize them, some of what you're talking about, provide them with mentorship so that they can get that guidance. But one of the things that another one of your programs does, that is actually how I first came to know NoMo, was through DeJuan Packy Williams and telling me about your fatherhood piece. I just think is truly amazing.
Well, guess what that birthday? Guess what that birthday? Guess what that birthday? For us, we got in the PA FAC program we had, what you're talking about, it used to stand for 5 and children together, but I had to rename it due to the fact that it's as many women being incarcerated as in men. And who are we to deny them the right to be a part of their child's life while they're incarcerated? But it actually, that office, that seat you about to go in, I'm wrong.
No, that's wrong. That was Ron Waters.
That was Ron Waters. That's a different
wrong side.
But it's in Southwest.
Wrong side. So that's how I first came to know it, was through DeJuan and Ron Waters. And I would love you to talk to the folks about it, because this is a truly fabulous program, for me, coming from the justice part of it, coming from the actual system, to see how folks are actually reunifying it to make sure that these kids and these parents are actually able to continue that bond and reconnect, is fabulous to me.
Yeah, because what takes place is that, what happens is that we go into I was one of the guys inside the prison. Let's start there. The guys like Ron Waters, Sam Stanton Jr., Dr. Eugene Wright, Penny McDonald, Dr. Tom Reed, Moral Arts of Philadelphia. They came in and they sit down and they do a 6-week course inside the prison. And they sit with us. And what happens is, and when you're in these streets, you tend to think fatherhood is about financial stability and providing finances. You don't learn about accountability, responsibility, bonding, love in general, remorsing. All these things come in play because you're in prison now, and you're not there to supply those couple of hours to put on the table no more. And you didn't know that you needed to spend a little bit more time with your child, and before you spend more, because you spend most of your time in the street, you don't realize you're neglecting your child, because you come in every night, you think that's okay. You eat breakfast, you leave, and they don't see you again until they wake up in the morning. You don't realize. So they taught us how to be a father, taught you what it takes to be a father, the steps to becoming a successful father, the steps to become acknowledged father, how to bridge that gap and build that bond back up that you really no longer have, because you've been incarcerated for so many years. Most of us had at least 10 years of incarceration in. So, and we watched our kids go up through Kodak, which we used to use back in the day before the phone. Kodak, Polaroids, the Kodaks and the Polaroids back in the day. So
let me tell you how old I am. Let me tell you how old I am, Ricky. I used to.
No, I mean anybody that's running for a seat right now. That you did an attorney, 8 years of school. I can balance it out. Maybe you look young, but I can assume that you can relate to a Kodak.
I used to actually be the chick that developed the film.
Okay, there we go. So now I didn't put you on a disc. I didn't say we talking about 110 cameras or nothing. I said Kodak. So I ain't gonna take you back that far with me. I'm a little old man. So
I was the one that was photomat girl. That was me.
Yeah. So now they taught you out. So what takes place is, once you learn this, then you initially go on a visit to be a part of your child's life. And it's just you and the child. Just you and the child, not the mom, not the grandmom, nobody, because what happens is me as an inmate, right? A former inmate, when here come Danielle, you come up on a visit, you got our son, we don't got a son, y'all, but we just saying, you got a son with us, right? And
Disclaimer.
and you come on visit. I ain't seen Danielle in what months. I'm like, okay. And I've been locked up with these men all day. I'm spending most of my time with the child mom and not the child. So what we did was we eliminated the child out of the room. I mean, the mom out of the room. Mom goes out and bond with other women that's going through what she's going through. And they sit at a table up the road somewhere at a restaurant and they have dinner and they network. They talk about real life problems that they experience as single mothers. While in turn, you're inside with your child one-on-one building. Ground rules. You can't ask nothing about mom. You can't ask about nothing about the house. You can only ask about Junior that's in front of you. You can only ask about that child that's in front of you. Find out their favorite color, their favorite movie, how's school going. Do they need help with their homework? Do they who their best friend is? What's their favorite color? What are they into? What type of movies they like? What sports are they into? What do their careers look like? And then we had therapeutic sessions where you got to air it out. You got to tell your child you're sorry. Tell them why you left their life and that you're sorry about it. We had arts and crafts going on with moral arts. We was able to do morals with our children. Different things in that aspect. So I fell in love with the program. So they seen how active I was and my educational background while I was in there. And when I came outside, it was like, okay, I was just an active participant volunteering. And it was like, well, who best to run the program from the outside than someone that knows both the inside and the outside? And hence, that's why I became the executive director of the PA-FAC program, because not only was I the executive director of NoMo, they said, being though that's an aftercare to the FAC program, I would just do both. So I became the executive director out on the outside. So I was able to, do a little few changes here and there to make the program fit for not just the children, but the returning citizen as well. So NoMo, PA-FAC sits in the middle, right? That starts in the prison. The men come home, they go to Mormac. The child comes home from the visit, or the child is still in the dad come home, the kid's in NoMo. So now this is what we call partnership. We call feeder programs. Now this is how you work together. And okay, the kid need health and fitness. I'll partner with the YMCA. They trying to do some internship. I'm going to reach out to Attorney Patterson. They trying to do this. I don't try to do it all. I know I can't do it all. I know I'm not the end all.
Your kids registered for the summer school programs for the work program?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, just making sure.
We actually pay our kids $100 a week.
Okay.
In NoMo.
To be in the program.
To be at the workforce development program. We're funded by a TANF funded program. So all our kids, if they active, they in Google Classroom doing what they're supposed to do, or they come into the building when we were open physically, they get $100 stipend a week. They get school clothes, they get work clothes, they get trans passes, they get all their trips are free. Everything we do is free and paid for through fundraising and sponsorships and grants. And any donors that reach out that want to be a part of what we're doing. So all our kids, our program is
how can you donate to NoMo? Now, is it NoMo? Is that the umbrella organization? Is that
NoMo is the umbrella organization. Everything falls under NoMo. New option, more opportunity. NoMo Inc. is the official name. So now, if you want to donate to NoMo, you can send to our mailing address at 5510 Woodland Avenue, 5510 Woodland Avenue, Philadelphia, PA 19143. We have a website. You can donate from the website, from the donate button, www.nomofoundation.org.
Wait a minute, too fast.
www.nomofoundation.org. That'll donate through PayPal. Okay. Now, if you want to donate through Cash App, you can donate through Cash App by $NoMo5510. That's Cash App. Now, checks and money orders or anything of that nature, cash can be sent directly. No cash, please, please, if we want to be able to write you off and send you a receipt to let me know that we did receive the money, and we are a 501c3 tax exempt organization that you can write off on your taxes. We know you're doing it out of love, but right now, business is business because we're in economic hardship. We need all the help we can get. So if you send us your information, we'll send you a receipt, a tax exempt receipt. You'll be able to file for it on your tax when you file for your taxes. So that can go to 5510 Woodland Avenue. And anybody have any questions or concerns, we can be reached through email at info@nomofoundation.org. And of course, anybody got any questions and concerns for me, that's me on Instagram at Mr__.NoMo. And our business page on Instagram is NoMo_PA Fact. We also have a Facebook page under the PA Fact program, and we have one under NoMo Foundation as well.
Okay, I think I got them all. But it's on your page and they're going to follow it. I think I got all of them. Okay.
Yes.
There you go. I think I got all of them. Just trying to make sure. So everybody, info at NoMo Foundation.
Yes, that's it.
Mr. NoMo, and they're on Instagram NoMo_PA Fact. Okay, and it'll be in the comments.
And also the website is www.nomofoundation.org. That's where you can find the donation button at.
I mean, info. I got that one. www.nomofoundation.org.
Yes.
It's long 5510 Woodland Avenue 19143. Just making sure. I always want to make sure that they can find you, because they're going to come looking. Because I'm trying to tell you, we in this post-COVID world, and as we are all in a re-entry phase, let's re-enter together. We are best. That we're going to
let them know. We normally schedule. I just got a text message that on Saturday we normally distributing our food, like I said, our food boxes of produce on Monday, but due to the holiday, and we want you to be able to use it at your barbecue, at your home, safe by yourself, with just your immediate family, not a bunch of people over there passing off that COVID, trying to get us out of getting us to phase yellow.
Yes, we're trying to get to the yellow. We're trying to get to the yellow.
We're trying to get to the yellow. Stay home, do it amongst each other. Don't go out and spread this and be walking around asymptomatic and kill somebody in the household. But listen, if you want to get a big box of produce, and I say big because I mean 5-pound boxes of potatoes, 5-pound things of apples, a thing of strawberries, a thing of lettuce, a 5-pound thing of onions, celery, strawberries, all this is in one big box. So bring a cart. And we're going to be in front of both of our buildings, one on 5510 Woodland Avenue and one at 1609 Poplar Street. We're going to do it on Saturday this week because we're unable, because Monday's a holiday. So if you want to get ahead of the game, come on out. We're not discriminating. You don't got to be old. You don't got to be young. You just got to be hungry. If you want something to eat, we're not gonna judge you. Like, I took a box home myself. Why wouldn't I? I got to eat too. So anybody that wants a box, come on out this Saturday at 12 o'clock. Actually, it says Monday on the flyer, but I'm going to have to redo it because, it's actually Saturday. I just got a text message saying it's going to come sooner than later. So that helps out. And we're going to be doing that right after that every Monday. Every Monday. I know we're going to invite you down there, Danielle. I want you to come down there.
I do the food programs.
Come on down there. Yeah, come down there. Come on down.
Come out, because
Guess what? If you don't need it for yourself, take it to your neighbor that might couldn't make it.
Well,
that's how we partner too. Feed your neighbor.
Always what I do is distribute, because I've mostly got elderly folks on my neighborhood, on my block that live, have lived around me. So I always have to bring it to them, because not even can they not lift it. Typically, they're the folks that should not be out.
Exactly. That's why we do and that's also, if you do know someone, use that email and send me. If you got a senior, please send me an email and let me know that they need it dropped off, and we'll get it delivered to them. Trust me. Just put it in the inbox. I'll put it in the thing that a senior that's in need of this produce boxes. We'll make sure it get dropped off at their door. If I knock on the door and this 18-year-old strong young boy with muscles bulging everywhere is at the door, I'm gonna feel some type of way. Because that's the problem, is we don't put these young boys to work. They lazy. They ain't doing that. Get him out there. Let him go get that.
I had one of those. I was working in the box, and a young boy sitting in the back seat. I'm like, is this really happening? I was like, is this happening?
I hate to say, we had to check a dude the other day, and I try to stay in Mr. NoMo, Rickey Duncan in that mindset, but he really was digging for Ricky Rolex, man. He watched his woman walk over there and get the box, and he was sitting there looking at her like, hurry up. I said, no, my man, you come get this joint. Like, you come get it. What you mean? He looking like she's holding you up. But he wouldn't tell that to her. He was like looking at her like she know the ropes. But when you got 3 men telling you, like, let's get it, like, you need to be over here and get it. But it was easy for him to come over there, but he would have let her really carry that box.
So Bussy is just making sure that this sounds like a great program.
It comes on the screen. I'm seeing it. Yeah, we met with Emmanuel a few times, a couple of political events. NoMo was out there. He was out there representing whatever person that was out there. I think it was Alan Dom at one time. We went out to the churches out Germantown. That's one thing about our youth. We travel. We everywhere. Like, I put them on a bus and where's something positive for them to be enlightened. You know what I mean? It's cultivational towards them. I'm gonna make sure there is. So if anything going on, like I said, interning. You got some internships for them. You got some work for them. Let's reach out to us, man. We looking at our kids is always ready to put the work in. They don't want you to. They like to be given things, but they got to put the work in. I'm going to see.
Zahira wants you to know that you're going to send you a list of people in the area that have needs, food needs that needs food due to no food distribution in my community. So
yeah, I got you. Where that's at, Zahira? What part of the city that's at? Let me know. Just let me know. Let me know. Because I know you know a lot of people. I only got a 16 passenger too, Zahira. She does the work. She's out and about,
yes, she's
always supporting. I do. It ain't nothing go down that I don't see her like there somewhere. Her presence being known at. So I commend you too as well, Zahira. I'll be seeing you. Like, I watch you actively on Facebook. But one thing about my Facebook, I ain't got a lot of. I got family by love, not blood. I got blood family on there, but I consider everybody that's out there doing the work of family. So if you on my page and I accepted you, even though I'm public, you can see what I'm on Nicetown. I'm scared of Nicetown, Zahira. I'm gonna send somebody down there. I'm sending down there with the cops. Say no, I'll be down there. No, but yeah, if you ain't doing it, I don't want it. You know what I mean? It's now they say you judge by the company you keep, man. I judge my company.
And I ain't mad at it.
It's a little bit different. I prefer to judge my company. I take the active road of really vetting who I put in my circle and who I allow into my house, into my circle, because at the end of the day, we all come too far as a community, as Black people, to allow any and everybody to let one of their things do reflect upon you. Because it's so easy to tear us down, man. So this guy you could have met yesterday, you take a picture with him, as soon as you do something, that's Danyl people. That's Rickey people. No, man, I took a picture. Like, you know what I mean? So it's crazy out here.
You got to go running these days. But Rickey, it was a fabulous conversation. You had so much information. We are well into our hour. So we need to let you go.
I appreciate it.
I'm going to come back a little bit later because there are lots of questions that folks have about the ballot tomorrow. They've got ballot questions. They don't really understand them. And, I've told you over and over again, they're written in legalese for a reason. They are not meant for you to understand them. They are worded in such a way to elicit a response they want. So I always call the ballot questions lawyer questions. Example, questions that lawyers like to ask. So when did you stop beating your wife?
Wow.
See, there's a way to ask a question to get the answer that you want. No matter what your answer is, that wasn't a very good one. So if you say, I never beat my wife, so you didn't stop. So then the answer is you didn't stop. Or then you say, well, I haven't beat my wife since whatever. Either way, I got the answer I wanted. One that did not make you look so good.
I thought you was talking to me, Danyl. I'm like, who told you that? I don't do that.
No, but those are lawyer tricks 101. And that's what happens with our ballot questions all the time. Lawyer Tricks 101. So thank you so much for being here today. My friends over at DKOD and everyone else who's tuned in, they're always here to spread the knowledge and the information. I'm reminding everyone that we're trying to get everybody to participate in this voting process, okay? We know it's going to be a little bit harder than it has been for you to exercise your right. There are websites available. I'm going to ask everybody, look, have you gotten your ballot yet? If you have not gotten your ballot, you still need to request it. Please head on over to votepa.com. That's votepa.com. Get your ballot. Participate in this process. And I think that everybody understands what happened during COVID. I think everybody understands just a little bit more how much your vote counts, how much your voice counts. And Rickey, it was so much of a pleasure to hear your voice telling us about the community, how we can help our youth, the initiatives that are going on, and how to be a proactive instead of reactive citizen. I really do like that. You've been, teaching me a lot. So reminding you, not just, sorry, thank you, Zahira. I wrote it down and still got it wrong. It is so for all of you in Philadelphia, I'm asking you to go out to vote190.com. vote190.com to be able to register for your ballot and request. Vote190.com. Again, thank you to my friends DKOD. They always keep me on my toes so that I know exactly what's going on, because in this world where we are produced, directed, written by Danyl Patterson, we have gaffes galore. Okay, so I need some of them kids from NoMo to come over here and teach me a little bit more about this technology. And by what I mean, I say come over here through my screen and teach me how to do it, because I'm trying to tell you, it's been a definite learning curve every single day for the last 10 weeks. You know, we've been in the house for 10 weeks.
Listen, I get again. I gave you a little bit of my background. I'm kind of used to it, so I don't. It just time just fly by. Like I said, it ain't as hard as me. That's the advantage I got over y'all.
Well, there you go. This is Danyl Patterson. I'm here with Rickey Duncan from NoMo, and together we are reminding you that we will do better together. Thank you.
Thank you.